Hi friends! I hope that you're excited for this video because it's finally here. It only took me a million tries to make sure that the spreadsheet was perfect, that all of the numbers that I had were on point, that any mistakes were caught and fixed and updated, and I think I spent probably upwards of 8 hours working on this thing. So before I jump into this update show, I just want to kind of give you a heads up of what kind of things you can expect on this channel. I'm gonna bring you off the sofa and into class at the gym to a specific class called mechanics, where we'll focus on one particular movement for anywhere between 1 to 4 weeks, and we'll practice strength. We'll have homework throughout the week and progressions leading up to whatever that movement is. Today we started week 1 of dip mechanics. So we worked on movements we can do to strengthen your upper body so that you can do strict dips, either bar dips or ring dips, and then eventually work into kipping dips. I think that it's going to be really great for me because I really want to work on my upper body strength. So expect to see that. I'll also plan at some point to stay afterwards and do a workout with the coaches, taking one of the workouts that they do at their epically high level and scaling it down to what I can do. Anybody can do the same workout because of the infinite scalability of CrossFit. That's what I plan to do consistently. And then sprinkled in between all of those things, there are bigger things that I want to bring you along to. Starting with a CrossFit aerobic capacity course that I'll be taking, then a competition in Santa Monica. I won't be participating, but I will be spectating and trying to get as much awesome footage as I can of my friends who will be participating in that. My husband comes home from deployment, and I really would love to introduce you guys to him and bring you along for that experience because that's kind of a big moment in my life. Also, I'm sure sprinkled in here and there, I'll be working on art pieces, so I'll throw in a couple of time lapses as we go. So, enough of that. Let's get into our update show and see how everything went. Hi friends, welcome to the CrossFit Games update show. My name is Dalton, and I will be giving you the full rundown of how the CrossFit hifriends custom leaderboard turned out over the course of the 2019 Open. So the first thing that I want to give you guys a rundown on is how many different countries were represented on this leaderboard. There were a total of 14. There were 22 men and 29 women, bringing us a total of 51 participants in all. And the countries that were represented were the United States, Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Norway, Germany, Israel, Denmark, Brazil, South Africa, Austria, France, Sweden, and Portugal. Before I actually get into the scores, I just want to let you know that my information is going to look a little bit different than what you might see on your leaderboard when you open it up on the games.crossfit.com website. The reason being is that I don't think it's trustworthy, but I was told that there were people who joined the leaderboard that I could not see. So the numbers that I'm seeing and the placements that I'm seeing are not accurate to the actual amount of people that were participating. So if I don't mention your name and you were supposed to be part of this list, I didn't see you and I didn't get any messages from you saying that you needed to be added in. So this is just going off of what I can see plus anybody that messaged me after the fact. I also allowed anybody to send me a picture of their scorecard if for some reason they weren't able to enter a score for 19.5 or so on. So I think there was only one person who did that, but just wanted to let you know in case you think things are kind of questionable. So let's get into the workout, starting with 19.1 and check out who our leaders were in both the RX and the scaled division. Starting with the men's side in 19.1, our top scoring athlete was from Sweden named Dennis Davidson with a top score of 331 reps, followed by Tui Alelima from the US with 285, and in third from Australia, Kyle Furr Burbank with 270. On the women's side, we had Lauren Taylor in the lead from Australia with 288 reps, followed by Sarah Weisner from Germany bringing in 273 reps, and Ashlyn Doman rounding out the top three from the US with 266. Now looking at the scale division, on the men's side, from South Africa, Jonathan Hugo with 235 reps scaled, and Adam Curley from the UK with 183 reps. On the women's side for the scale division, our top three athletes were from the US, Tabitha Alden with 243 reps, from Canada, Heather Dooling held down the second place spot with 236 reps. Also from Canada, rounding out the top three in the scale division was Caroline Grenier with 214 reps. I also want to point out that in this workout, between the men and the women, I came in dead last. Moving on to 19.2. In the men's side for the RX division, our top three athletes were from Denmark, David Christensen with a score of 172, followed by Dennis Davidson from Sweden, and in third place, Brett Mitchum from the United States with a score of 165. There was a tie for third place, down to reps, but what split third and fourth place was Kane Tessier. It was the tie break. So Brett got the third position by getting a tie-break score of 7 minutes and 18 seconds, while Kane had a tie-break of 7 minutes and 59. The exact same thing happened on the women's side in the RX division. Our leader was from Australia, Lauren Taylor, with 253 reps. In second place, Ashlyn Doman with 173 reps from the US. And in third place, from Canada, Allison Chandler held down that third place spot with 165 reps and a tie-break score of 731. Liz Marie Rosnes from Norway holds down that fourth place position even though she had the same amount of reps at 165, but her tie-break score was 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Going into the scale division, on the men's side, our leader was Kyle Furbank from Australia with 425 reps, followed by Gustavo Prada de Oliveira from Brazil with 341, and in third place from the US was Anthony Ryken with 263 reps. On the women's side in the scale division, our leader was from Germany, Sarah Weisner, with 423 reps. Tied at that score with 423 reps was the second place position of Nancy Confrancesco from the US, but the tie-break difference was that Sarah had a tie-break of 15:47 and Nancy had 18:46. Holding down the third place position was from Canada, Heather Dooling with 344 reps. In 19.3, our top three men in the RX division were number one from the US, Brett Mitchum with a score of 131, followed by David Christensen from Denmark with 114, and in third place, Tui Alilima with 104 from the US. On the women's side, holding down the top spot was Heather Dooling from Canada with a score of 97, and tied in reps between second and third place was Jody Lynn with 91 and Melissa Nevin with 91. But because of the tiebreak times, Jody's tiebreak was 7:12 and Melissa's was only 10 seconds behind with 7:22. Going into the scale division on the men's side, George Vogler from Austria had 115 reps scaled, followed by Jonathan Hugo from South Africa with 90, and Gustavo Prada de Oliveira from Brazil with 80. On the women's side in the scale division, all three athletes from the USA were Kristen Burnett in the number one spot with 165 reps, followed by Tabitha Alden with 122, and Linnea Alvord with 97. Moving on to 19.4, our top three men in the RX division. From Denmark, David Christensen with a score of 125. In second place, Brett Mitchum from the US with 93, and Tui Alilima in the third position with a score of 86. On the women's side, our leader was Liz Marie Rosnes from Norway with a score of 76, followed by Lauren Taylor from Australia with 67, and Melissa Nevin in the third place spot with a score of 66. Now, mind you, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There were 12 female athletes in 19.4 who had a score of 66, but because of the tie-break times, that's how I was able to figure out who came in which place and which order and who finished first and who finished last. That gave Melissa Nevin that third place position. In the scale division over on the men's side, David Zacher from the United States had a top score of 113, which was also the same amount of reps that Jonathan Hugo in the second place position from South Africa also got. Coming down to the tie-break time yet again, David Zacher had a tie-break of 4:19, while Jonathan's tie-break was 7 minutes and 34 seconds. In third place was George Vogler with 106 from Austria, who was only 1 rep ahead of Anthony Reichen from the USA in fourth place. On the women's side, the leader was Tabitha Alden from the US with a finishing time of 11 minutes and 52 seconds, followed by Heather Dooling from Canada with 129 reps, and Linnea Alvord from the United States with 110. Finally, in 19.5, our top scores on the RX division for the men's side, our leader was from Denmark, David Christensen, with a score of 193, followed by Brett Mitchum from the US with 191, and in third, Dennis Davidson from Sweden with 186. On the women's side, our leader with a finishing time of 18 minutes and 9 seconds was Lauren Taylor from Australia, followed by Liz Marie Rosnes from Norway with 175, and Ashlyn Doman with 171 from the US. Going back to the scale division on the men's side, our leader was from the US, David Zacher, with a finishing time of 16 minutes and 35 seconds, followed by Gustavo Prada de Oliveira from Brazil with a finishing time of 17:21, and George Vogler rounds out the top 3 from Austria with a score of 17 minutes and 38 seconds. On the women's side for the scale division, we had our leader Linnea Alvord with a finishing time of 12 minutes and 37 seconds from the US. In second, Sarah Weisner from Germany with a finishing time of 13 minutes and 37 seconds, which was exactly 1 minute behind Linnea. And in third from Canada, Heather Dooling with 13 minutes and 43 seconds. That one is an actual tie. So Nancy Confrancesco also tied for third place from the US with the same exact time down to the second of 13 minutes and 43 seconds. Now let's move on to the overall summary of our top scores for the men and our top scores for the women, giving us our first, second, and third place finishers in the hifriends leaderboard overall. Our top 3 men, starting with third place, was from Sweden, Dennis Davidson, with a score of 19. In second place from the US, Brett Mitchum holds down that second place position with a score of 12. And our leader overall winning the hifriends leaderboard was David Christensen from Denmark with a score of 9. Congratulations to all you 3 and everybody else on the men's side that competed in this leaderboard. On the women's side, our leaders, starting with the third place position with a score of 28, from Canada, Allison Chandler holds down that third place position. In second, from Norway, Liz Marie Rosnes with a score of 23. And our overall leader on the women's side with a score of 9, from Australia, Lauren Taylor. Congratulations, girls. This was awesome to see the scores that you were putting up and where that ended up leading you in the overall. Just like the CrossFit Games are doing this year, I am going to go through the leaders in each country. If there was only one participant from each country, I'm still going to read their names and their scores because they were the only ones who were brave enough to add the hifriends leaderboard to their profile and participate in this little fun thing. Now, just to clarify where these numbers came from, I did not do individual leaderboards for each country because the first one took me so long anyway. I just figured with all of the numbers that I had to begin with that I could use them for this. And in the order of the overall finishings, this is where we ended up. If you want to do that, by all means, go for it, but I think I tapped myself out on this leaderboard. From the United States, our top finisher was Brett Mitchum with a score of 13. And on the women's side, Jody Lind with a score of 30. From Australia, on the men's side, our top finisher was Kane Tessier with a score of 29. Lauren Taylor with a score of 9. From Canada, our top male was Matt Davis with 85. And on the women's side, Allison Chandler with a score of 28. From the UK, Ian Wright held down that top spot with a score of 62, and Amy Wiles with a score of 58. In Germany, there was only one male and one female participant, being Matthias Peters with a score of 91, and Sarah Weisner with a score of 48. In Norway, there were also only 2 participants, but both were female. Our top finisher from Norway with a score of 23 was Liz Marie Rosnes. And just because there was only 2 of you, our second place finisher from Norway was Caroline Nielsen with a score of 85. From the following countries, there was only 1 participant, male or female. So I'm going to go through all those names right now. From Israel, Gail Labar with a score of 73. From Denmark, David Christensen, our overall leader, with a score of 9. From Brazil, Gustavo Prada de Oliveira with a score of 71. From South Africa, Jonathan Hugo with a score of 81. From Austria, George Vogler with a score of 68. From France, Dorian Bouleste with a score of 104. From Sweden, Dennis Davidson with a score of 19. And from Portugal, Hugo Teixeira with a score of 34. Now, because I just want to shout out everybody else who participated in this, going to list your names on the screen because it'll take me a really long time to read through all of them, and I don't want to butcher any more names than I already have. But all of you, all of these names on the screen right now, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for playing the game with me. Most of you beat me, and I think that that's freaking cool, and I'm excited to see how we all improve over the next couple of months. Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you. I'm so, when I made this leaderboard, I said it once before, I was only expecting maybe 5 people to participate, and I got 50. What? Like, it just still blows my mind that any of you would care enough to play the game with me, you know what I mean? So that is going to conclude our episode on the update show for the hifriends leaderboard. I hope you enjoyed, and congratulations to everybody who crushed it. You all crushed it. But to those people who took out those top spots, good job. I hope that you feel proud, that this is something that you could lead in, even if you might not feel like you lead on a regular basis. So great job, everybody. I'll talk to you guys soon, and yeah, try not to mumble, try not to ramble as I usually do. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. Okay, bye.